Everyone thinks of us as a weapon system. Predominantly, Escrima is thought of sticks and knives and machetes and things like that. Well, we're a standalone system. We have a complete system, and that means we have unarmed, we have control techniques, we have the whole thing. And it takes a lot. Now, what's different to Escrima to most systems is we teach them about weapons early on. And most systems get them to a certain level and then start on the weapons. Well, we feel, well, we don't walk around the street with weapons, we don't have sticks, but other people do. And if you understand how a weapon works, your unarmed has got a better chance against it. Otherwise, what a lot of systems do is they have an unarmed system and they force the weapons to work with what they understand unarmed. They haven't really understood how the weapon mechanics work. So they're out of sync. Now with us, we're teaching body and weapon mechanics together. And we don't want to be stick fighters, we just want to be fighters. So as much as we do armed, we do unarmed. The difference between armed fighting is your reflexes, your peripheral vision, your sense of urgency is far more involved. So you can't afford to be lazy, you have to move. It's unforgiving. People's biggest fear is knives. In my world, most people don't know what they're doing with a knife. You don't have one, that's the end of it, you're finished. But then what do we say? Just lay down and die? We've got to do something. We've got to bring some hope. So there are some sensible things to do. Now, many people teach knives to feed the fear. People are scared of knives, they charge a lot of money, and they do a lot of bullshit. We're far honest. We tell you, you have a 0%, but if you move this way and he's not a trained man, your percentage may go up. The theory is, if you meet trained men, trained martial artists, they're supposed to be the good guys. They're not supposed to start the fights. So we are supposed to be training for people that are the bad guys who might not be that experienced in fighting in a trained way, but they're experienced that they're willing to stab you, and they've done it before. But they might fight in a certain way, and that gives you maybe a smaller chance of getting higher techniques off on them, but most people will show you disarms, takedowns, control. For us, we work on the very first movement. If you don't get the first movement right, if your positioning is wrong, you're stabbed. And then all the best techniques in the world do not work. So from our point of view, we try and get the first bit right and then everything right. So we're a little bit perfectionist that way. We'll work on it until we really understand it. We'll do it slow, we'll do it methodical, we'll increase the pressure. For me, anything that gets someone away from the TV, gets them off the chair and goes out and does something physical, I'm happy with. So I'm happy on most martial arts. The biggest martial art that I'm critical of is my own, because I only care about what my people are doing. And I have to be like that because I have to worry about the people standing in front of me. I don't have time to worry about what other martial arts are doing. With that said, that's how I see my opponent. I don't really worry about what he's going to do. I worry about what I'm going to do. So it doesn't matter if it's a left hook or a stab, a punch. I'm going to work in a certain way, and your pain has decided how nasty you're trying to be. So I'm quite happy to walk away. I'm quite happy just to control you. But if you're trying to stab me, then you've got to accept that if I'm lucky enough to get you, I'm going to go out on my way to break that arm, so you don't want to do it again. For that, we have to train in a certain way. We have to be able to move in all directions with our energy going forward. We don't want to get weaker as we move. We want to get stronger. So we want to keep our energy going. So a lot of people say we move quite a lot. But a lot of people are moving and showing a stick, but they're in one position. And to me, that's like being on a treadmill. You're doing a lot of work, but you haven't got anywhere. With us, we don't want to be in the cutting line or the power line. We want to avoid it and move it. And we move so we're in a position that we can hit you. If we move just not to be hit, that can put us in a position of weakness and increase your energy and confidence. So we have to have a lot of theories and movements on that. So we don't believe that there's one way of doing things and it's the only way. Even before, when I was young and I was really well built, I can't expect people to work the same way as me. So I've got to give them different options. So in the syllabus, there's things that I would not need to do, but I teach it so other people can do it because it suits them. Some people are really tall, some people are naturally aggressive, some people are naturally timid. We have to find a way through it. So a syllabus is for everybody to get an equal chance to progress. So, you know, my organisation is getting big, so on syllabus I'm looking for the average grade. I won't accept rubbish, but I'm not looking for elitism. I'm looking for understanding. As people train more and more and go up the ranks, they get naturally better. So for me, we have a saying that we have to be 100% committed with the ability to change our mind, because we also have to see danger. There's no point seeing your kills and your hits and totally not reading the situation that they're in a strong position too. We also have something where we have recovery. So for instance, we might hit you very hard on target, did nothing wrong, and we end up in a bad position. But that might not be because we've done something wrong, it might be because our opponent did something right. And we have to accept that. If you hit someone, don't be surprised when they try and hit you back. So we should be ready for that, and that means we should be able to move in any direction without losing our energy and keep that going on to the opponent. So for us, that's in our syllabus. One of the other things we'll do in our syllabus is we'll put unknown factors in there. So for instance, I might say to my students, I want 2 hits, come back with 2 hits, finish with 1. But I won't tell them what hits to do. So every time they change round, there could be 50 different variations, but the discipline and the safety and the drill is 2-2-1. But the actual fighting within it is unknown. And that means they don't get caught up, this goes here, that goes there. So within the syllabus, there's unknown factors. But there's a built-in safety measure to protect them from themselves. So that's why our syllabus is a lot different from other people's. My ego is seeing other people getting better. There's where my ego lies, seeing someone who was real rubbish all over the place and all of a sudden he's shining and he's looking good. That's where my ego is now. But for me, my pride is that in 10 years, most of the people that started with me are still there. So there's retention, there's staying power, and their skills and their faith, and they're going to their students. And if you saw today, you look at Charlie and Nigel, maybe 20 students plus here today. And that's because they have the confidence to go out and expand themselves. So I know them, I've known them for years, and because they come and train with us and they attend some of our events and seminars, we know what information is going to their students.